Frost Children, speedrun, album review, let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new album from Frost Children. They are a St. Louis hyperpop duo of siblings Angel and Lulu Prost. They've been at it for a few years now, and in those few years, they've actually released quite a bit of material. Now, they've been at it for a few years now, and they started gaining some traction around their debut, the Aviation Creates Adventurous Beginnings album, and meh. I thought it was kind of middle of the road. As a matter of fact, I thought a lot of the other hyperpop acts out at the time just were doing a lot of what they were doing a lot better. If there was one thing that I did take from the album that I did really like, though, it was some of the more aggressive moments, some of the nastier moments. There was definitely some punk and emo influence, and I liked that. I wanted to hear more of that. Now, their follow-up, 2021's Elixir Rejection, I thought this was a lot better of an album. Just overall, I had a lot more fun with it. I thought it was, a lot more consistent, even though it drooped pretty heavily in the second half. But it was a lot more fun, and I just kind of found a lot of replay value in the parts that I did like. It had a lot more personality as well. Now, 2022 Spiral, I had a lot of mixed thoughts on. On one hand, the tracks that were good here were easily some of the best that the band had put out. My only issue was that when it drooped so hard. And I just found myself at the end of the day very lukewarm to it, and I just would much rather listen to a lot of their contemporaries. Now, I did had high hopes for this album leading up to it just because the singles they were dropping. I was very impressed with what they were doing. I thought it was some of their most fun and instantaneous tracks to date. Let's chat about this thing. Not for nothing, COUP is a really great start. I love the pristine atmosphere that we get here, and the vocals from Frost Children, especially in the singing department, have only gotten better. And listen, this is by far a no means lyrical masterpiece of an album, but if you are looking to enjoy an album like this, I'm pretty sure you're not looking for one. It's a bubbly, very colorful track that's just a lot of fun. It's a great start to this album, much like their last two releases, when Frost Children are on there putting out some of their best material yet. I do really enjoy FLATLINE as well. I like the upbeat groove and the Yoshi sample. That was cool. It's fun. It's got that personality, which is something that I haven't always been able to say about Frost Children, but yet here we are. It's not the heaviest or most intense track from them, or the wildest even, but it's a lot of fun, and I can get with that. It's really memorable. It's really quirky. I could see this just being kind of an anthem for Frost Children. And the bubbly beat on All I Got is just infectious, right from the word go. Listen, there is an art to this. There is an art to this brand of hyperpop, and it's not easy to really nail. But this track just works so well for them, and it just ends up being a great, carefree, fun jam. For a few short minutes, everything really does come together. Even if from a songwriting stance, it's a little repetitive, I can see this being a little annoying, but I'm willing to give it a pass. I like this. And hearing a track like Obsessed, I just wish this was a route that they went down more on this album. Ever since their early days, the more abrasive, punk-leaning, gnarlier side of Frost Children, I thought gives them a really unique niche edge. And here, this comes off great. It's angsty, it's explosive, it's got some emotion to it. All things that this album could use a lot more of. It's a really great track and one of the most exciting moments here. I mean, so far, so good. I have no issues as far as those tracks go, but as this album rolls on, I mean, the best advice I can give you is, if you like this album, great, but if it's not your thing or you're lukewarm on this album, just stick with the contemporaries. This album is just not clicking with me. Most of it is just borderline annoying. Sick Trip does not do it for me. All of a sudden, that personality and genuine fun is right out the window. This beat is dime a dozen. These vocals are not memorable, at all. I don't know, I hear a track like this, and then I don't feel like, I feel like Frost Children don't know the kind of act that they want to be. Because this is far from the quirky hyperpop that I've actually enjoyed on this album. This just sounds like any who's who of a synth pop band trying to be a little quirky. It is not nearly as entertaining, and Serpent almost broke me. They are on hallowed ground on this track, sampling the banger of a theme from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Always a banger, but they massacre it. The lyrics are easily some of the cheesiest on this entire album, and the vocals are not up to snuff. This is really bad, and a really good just thing to know about this album. It's a slippery slope. When things get rough, things get really rough very quick. I mean, I personally was having a lot of fun with this album, but then I hear this, and I'm out of my good grooves, man. And with High Five, we are just getting into really annoying territory. This beat is just agitating, annoying. It just gets to me. And listen, we're talking about a hyperpop album. We are talking about a genre that really just is all about excess. But this is way too heady and obnoxious, and the ultra sad boy lyrics on this track aren't helping anybody. And then we get Let It Be featuring Exhume, and who in the hell wanted a almost 5-minute track? It's far from compelling. This beat is so dime a dozen. It's upbeat and thrilling at points, but more than anything, it's just really forgettable. The vocals, once again, are not really cutting it for me either. And this guest spot is just so unnecessary. This album is the equivalent of smoking a lot of weed, eating a lot of candy, drinking some coffee, but then realizing you have absolutely nothing to do. I mean, you may like this album more than me. You probably do, and I hope you do. But for me, this is just more middle-of-the-road hyperpop that I just would rather not be listening to. I do still like Angel's Thoughts for what it is, though. As far as the beat goes, it's one of the most genuinely fun and colorful that we get here. And the hook itself is genuine ear candy. Easily one of the catchiest things that we hear on this entire album. And listen, there's some cringeworthy lines. Absolutely. I'm not making excuses. But this is one of the more straightforward tracks here, and that's actually a really great thing. I appreciate it. But then we get Wonderland featuring Blake the Man 1000 and May Rio, and whoa, it's really, really bad. This is a flavor of track that I did not think we'd get here, and I don't know who asked for it. This is a much breezier, dare I say, Frost Children attempting to do a steamy, sexy track. And it falls so flat on its face, it's not even funny. And listen, I commend artists for taking risks. I enjoy artists taking risks, but this one didn't even get off the ground. And these lyrics, coming from an Alice in Wonderland enthusiast like myself, are absolutely a crime. And then we have Notice Me featuring 8485 as a finale, and I don't know why they are just now deciding to just pull out all the stops and try all kinds of new things. And you know what? It's something that I usually salute and commend and really appreciate. But this Twilight cutesy ballad just sounds like it wants to be picked up by PC Music so freaking badly, but it's just not up to snuff. We've gone from overly caffeinated to the point where I have a headache to the point where I'm struggling to stay awake. It's a wild ride, but not one that I personally enjoyed overall. And yes, I stand my ground. The singles and the first half of this album are actually some of Frost Children's best material on any album that they've put out. It's a lot of fun, it's very colorful, it's quirky, and it has more personality than I'm used to hearing from the duo. That's good. The only issue is in the second half, things go from overly caffeinated to weird experiments to just drowning in way too much stuff going on. And that's coming from a genre that breeds off of excess and a lot of stuff going on. I'm not into this album, and if you are, I hope you enjoy it for me, but for right now, I'm feeling like a strong 4 on this album. But let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.